Hello everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Next Level Play, your source for all things
gaming. I was gonna say it, I was gonna interrupt you.
eSports,
Web3,
pop culture,
anime.
I still don't know what Web3 is. Anyway, all things gaming. Oh, what do we do? We make predictions about the future, some good, some bad.
We have amazing guests on the show who share their incredible insider knowledge about stuff. Can't wait for our guest today. Stay tuned.
Indeed, speaking of anime, because the future of eSports, anime, gaming, you name it, is
right here,
right now.
Next Level Play.
Good to see you, Sydney. How you doing?
Good to see you, Marcus. I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Took a long pause.
I mean, it's
pause there.
I'm just so excited about anime. I kept me up all night.
Oh my gosh.
As you know, I'm an insomniac, so I got a whole 3 hours of sleep last night, which is better than usual.
Congratulations.
But I just was up all night thinking of a good segue, which is
what
here
you're doing
we
now?
are. Yes.
Wow.
Anime
Nailed it.
is going to be the theme of our episode. Not entirely.
Not entirely.
We're still going to be talking about some other stuff.
But there's a lot of great anime out there, and I feel like we haven't done it justice on Next Level Play yet.
Not my expertise. I'm like a movie, video game guy, 1A, 1B, video game 1A for purposes of this podcast. But what's your favorite anime of all time,
This is
Sydney?
I knew that you were going to like pop that in.
How did you know that I was going to ask that?
It's weird that
That's really weird how you knew
what's
that. You're so smart.
Anime. So hard. This is like asking what's your favorite movie, what's your favorite album or band of all time.
Sure.
So many different animes that I love for different reasons come to the top of my mind.
You're stalling for time.
No. I'm just trying to organize them so I don't get shit on.
Take your time, by the way.
The anime fans out there are like waiting on bated breath to be like, she's wrong. I'll say the anime that got me into anime is
The anim.
No, go ahead.
And in the inanimate.
No, you're good there.
Inanime and anime.
Yes. An
An anime and anime.
An
An
anime.
anime and this is not a good bit. Keep going.
The anime that got me into anime is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I think I watched all of Naruto first. And
All of Naruto.
yeah,
Really?
even the fillers.
Wow.
Watched it all. Because for some reason, this is like when I was in college and I was like, I'm going to read the Bible just to see what that's about.
Sure.
And I just started at the beginning. Don't recommend. There's a lot of boring shit in there. You don't have to read Book of Names. It's actually just a lot of names. You can skip ahead to Song of Solomon. That's the real sexy stuff.
Are these biblical books?
Yeah. It's all in the Bible.
Yeah.
Have you never read the Bible front to back?
I mean, Catholics, we just obsessed over the New Testament, so there's a lot of stuff I missed. Anyway.
All that to say, there's a lot of filler in a lot of different animes. Those that know, you know. There's a lot of wiki about stuff you can skip that you'll still get the main storyline. But Full Metal was the first anime I watched where I was like, holy shit, every episode is a banger. And the storytelling is great. And some episodes are really sad. Some episodes are really funny. The character arcs were great. The world of it, this sort of semi-magical, with alchemy being like the source of magic and transmutation and stuff. I just loved it. I was so into it. I finished that and I was like, okay, I think I see what the people are saying. So then I dove deeper into different types of anime, but I still think that's like high on my list. One of the best, shortest, like easy to watch that I recommend to anyone who's like, I watched this one anime, I'm looking for something else. One Punch Man.
Oh, okay.
One Punch Man is great because it plays on so many cliches of anime. So if you've seen a few animes, before and you're like, I don't know, One Punch Man cinches it all together because it's so fucking funny.
You're giving me ideas.
It plays on all the tropes. It's a great story. The characters are hilarious. That one is definitely high on my list. And then, gosh, I'm trying to think. I've watched some recently that I've enjoyed. Vinland Saga, that I was watching that. That's fine. I know they're making another season. I'm curious. Season 2, aka Farmland Saga, was a little bit boring.
The Vinland Saga?
Yeah, Vinland Saga.
It's just the Fast and Furious movies, isn't it?
No, you're thinking of Vin Diesel. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. Vinland Saga.
Okay.
It's weird. It's, it's not for everybody. It's a very interesting anime set in like Crusades, England, and like Iceland. with sort of Viking influence with like Iceland, and then also there's like the king in England vying for power as like these sort of crusades are happening between like other petty kingdoms, but it's fully in Japanese, but
You better
with like
Reykjavik yourself before you wreck yourself.
nice. That's good.
Thanks.
That's good. But yeah, if you're into that, it kind of blends genres of, you know, European Viking stuff with the Japanese. It's very interesting. But yeah, I'm trying to, I'll keep thinking, but definitely would put Full Metal Brotherhood and One Punch.
Wait, is Full Metal Brotherhood different than Full Metal Alchemist?
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is different.
Okay.
They split off. The manga went in one direction, and they started making the show before I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, before the manga was finished.
Okay.
So they sort of do.
Oh, they did a divergence when they ran out of material and like called
Yeah.
it something different. That is respectful and smart. I like
And it's
that.
either that or it's like stuff is out of order. I forget, but Brotherhood makes way more sense.
Take notes, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I say as if I've seen it.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
I haven't.
What the heck?
I know. I'm a movie, not
Don't
a TV.
admit that.
Too much TV
That's
stuff.
embarrassing.
I've tried many times. I still will, but it's again. I was waiting until it all. Why are we talking about Game of Thrones now? I don't know.
I wonder if
but
they'll make a
anyway,
Game
I
of
waited for it
Thrones
to be
anime.
finished. And then people said, "Don't watch it." I will.
Anime.
Yes.
What
Anime.
I know that it's not like your go-to,
Yeah.
but do you have a favorite, or do you have one that you've really enjoyed?
I do for sure, and it's kind of funny because it sounds like you fell in love. You started with Naruto, but really fell in love with anime. Full Metal Alchemist. I almost said Full Metal Jacket.
I liked Naruto. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's more for children, and Full Metal was like geared a little bit more towards my age when I watched it.
Right, and you you got really into anime. It sounds like more towards like college and
Yeah.
a little later, and yeah, not to be patronizing, it's a little more like late bloomerish.
Late blue. I missed the boat when I was young. I watched some Pokemon. I watched some Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about those.
I dipped and dabbled. Dragon Ball. I watched a little bit of Dragon Ball. But at that time, I was like, I don't think this is for me. Whether that's I was growing up, you know, sort of a tomboy, already doing a lot of like skateboarding and snowboarding and like things that were considered a little outlier to my friend groups and stuff. I was like, I can't get into anime. I'm going to be a social pariah. So I stopped myself. I pumped my own brakes.
And that's super fair. I'm kind of the opposite is why I say that, because my brother was really into anime and manga. And he had, subscription to Shonen Jump. It was the glory
Whoa.
days. Yeah, oh yeah, it was the glory days of Toonami. And I would
Yeah.
read all of them too. So I was into anime because my big brother was,
Cute.
especially from ages like 7 to
Oh yeah.
12, 13.
You were prime. You were like their market.
But a secondhand kind of situation. I was breathing in the secondhand smoke, and it was great. It was great. I got a high off of it because it was. So the glory days of Toonami, Dragon Ball Z. Honestly, I know it's very cliche. Is the anime I've seen the entirety of multiple times.
That's not cliche.
Played the video games. I think Dragon Ball, especially as an adult, I prefer with the manga. Because Dragon Ball Z gets a little, it's power scaling and a lot of tropes that are kind of like, all right. But
The most
Dragon Ball's
ridiculous fights you've ever seen.
right.
Yeah.
The problem with the Dragon Ball anime is, I mean, it was made in the 80s, and
God,
it
it's
shows
funny.
a little bit, which
Those first like 5 episodes are
Yeah.
just like a girl being naked,
Oh,
and
well,
the
yeah.
whole joke is that she's like not wearing underwear. When I rewatched that as an adult, I was like, what was I doing when I was 10?
and they, especially the manga, they show it all.
Oh, really? Do they?
You see
Yeah.
Goku's penis all the time. Well, that's like a.
Well, he's
thing
like
in
a kid,
Yeah, he's a
yeah.
kid, which
He's
is
like-
fine. But they show Bulma's naked, and she's too young for that.
Well,
in retrospect,
it's a mess.
When I was 8, it was great. All right, it was awesome.
You were just
so-
like, that's funny.
Yeah, so I know it's cliche, but Dragon Ball Z, on a personal level, love the Pokemon anime. Yu-Gi-Oh! I was into. That was my brother liked Pokemon cards. I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards for like a year, so that's an easy choice. I'd say a slightly deeper cut was my brother in his Toonami years. Yu Yu Hakusho was one of those big shows.
Okay, I never watched it.
Fantastic. I think a little underrated. Obviously, they just had the live action adaptation, which brought it back into popularity. And I say overrated compared to, your Naruto's and your One Pieces and your, all that good stuff. But yeah, so there was, and what was the other one?
Bleach?
Bleach I never got into. What was the one with Shaman King? Shaman King I was really into
I never
too.
watched that either.
All the ones that were in Shonen Jump for those years.
Did you watch Naruto?
I did, but Naruto, that's why I'm so shocked you watched all of it. I felt like I watched hundreds of episodes. It was probably more like 50 of Naruto, but I never got even close, I don't think, to the first time lapse. I got through the Gaara stuff.
Baruto? Are you talking about Baruto? That's the next one. That's when he becomes like older.
I got to where they beat the sand dude with the red hair.
Yeah, Gaara.
Yeah, which I feel like that was a lot of stuff that happened up until then. Am I wrong? Is that like more? Is that less than half of the run, or is
a lot of stuff has happened? Did you get to the what's his name? What's his name? The snake guy. He's got the great theme music.
Right till the end of the sand guy. They had the whole tournament in the forest.
Gaara becomes good.
Of course.
Sasuke is the big, like will he, won't he?
I just liked Rock Lee. He was my guy.
Rock Lee is the fucking
He's
best.
awesome.
He's the best.
And I haven't even looked at Naruto since I was like 8, but
it's good.
Dragon Ball Z is my answer.
Okay.
Which is cliche, but it's it's so nostalgic for me. When I was 5, I remember just being obsessed with on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, and we would watch it every day with my brother when I was 11. Like,
I wanna segue that into the next combo, but I did want to add. I forgot the one I was thinking of. A recent anime that I recommend to anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Dandadan is so good. Made for adults, like absolutely made for adults.
Yeah.
Foul language, inappropriateness, nudity. Nudity
and
nudity.
The debauchery.
Crudity. No, it's really good. It's really funny. Definitely made for adults, but highly I think it's on Netflix. Highly recommend.
I got one more for you actually.
Okay.
Because you mentioned One Punch Man, which I saw the first episode, thought it was great.
It's hilarious.
And I was curious how I just stopped watching it like I do with so many TV shows, but I was curious, intrigued, but also skeptical in how that concept would continue. But, yeah. I mean, it's kind of Superman. They really get Superman.
They
a lot of milk out of that. But.
They really took their time. They just made a second. They made a second season, which is fine. It's fine. But they didn't. I'm glad that they're not pushing it, and they didn't try to make it into
nerf
this.
Him and like.
Well, because the story is what it is. Like it's sort of a one joke character, One Punch Man. So they don't try to make it something that it's not. But the second season's still fun. I just hope they're not like, all right, third and fourth, because it's like there's really nothing more to do.
Speaking of a short run comedy anime that I love, which you inspired me, I haven't thought about it in 10 plus years. Bobo. Incredible.
Sorry, one more time.
Bobo. I think I'm saying that right.
Bo.
It's so funny.
I've
and they
never
made an
heard
anime
of
of it. It's I don't think it has I think it's maybe only like a couple of volumes, but
okay.
I could be wrong on that. I mean, it was very popular, and they did make a show of it. So funny. He fights with his mustache powers, and I'm going off of so long ago.
It sounds almost like My Hero Academia, where everyone has like ridiculous superpowers, which is another fun anime. But
I feel like it was the comedy anime of One Punch Man before One Punch Man. I could be wrong on that. I'm talking out of my butt because I stopped getting into following anime after like age 13, 14. So I'm like 15 years lapsed. Pretty rusty, to be honest with you.
My saying is I'll try anything twice. I'll check it out. I'll watch it. I'll probably watch the whole thing and decide if I like it or not. But I did want to segue this. We're talking so much about anime, which I could go on and on and on. But the point was, anime adaptations into video games are extremely prevalent. We've had a ton of them. And this is not to say that they're not popular, or some of them are well made, but I think there's this reoccurring thing where no matter what the anime is, with like great character arcs, great story, cool animation styles for different shows, they all end up being a sort of like ninja game where it's a clone. It's basically the first Naruto video game.
Oh, yeah, and I had that.
And they're all like clones of that same sort of idea. You know, even if it's like a Bleach game, and it's like, okay, well, they're not like ninjas in that game. Like Naruto was so specific that they were ninjas from different villages and like they had different powers. But I think all of these anime games sort of end up being the same concept, like the Dragon Ball games, for example. Very similar, you know, side-by-side fighter or that weird kind of 3D.
Which is cool.
But every game is that now. All the Naruto games, all the Dragon Ball games. And I was curious because, you know, those are animes that you've really enjoyed, Dragon Ball being one of them. Were you into the games?
I was. And it's kind of interesting to see the evolution of the Dragon Ball games because I feel like we have two basically perfect examples of what a Dragon Ball Z game can be with Dragon Ball Kakarot and Dragon Ball Fighter Z, you know, Fighters. You have a perfect 2D traditional fighter that is a giant esport. I mean, that is a huge competitive game. It's up there in respect with your Street Fighters and yada yada. No expert on that, I know. Anyway. But a huge fighting game, a perfect traditional fighter with deep mechanics, great combo system, balance, yada yada yada. And then Dragon Ball Kakarot, you have the exploration and that cool kind of 3D sphere. It feels like a Dragon Ball fight where you're zooming towards them and then boo, 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 and you fly around a giant arena. Awesome. But the thing is, there were so many little steps to get there. Like the games I had for Dragon Ball, I had Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1. Simple, fun, but very simple kind of traditional fighter. And then on Game Boy Advance, I had Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku, which is really janky, and it's an RPG.
I was gonna say, not a
action
fighter.
RPG. No. Top-down action RPG. Bad reviews, but I still loved it and played it to death. Really kind of clumsy. But then the sequels, Legacy of Goku 2 and Boo's Fury.
Fighters.
No. Still that same
interesting.
RPG style. Because an RPG is a great idea for power scaling.
Yes.
More, like it's kind of perfect, and it's a great adventure. So you had that, and then with the Tenkaichi series, Tenkaichi Budokai, that's when you had the arena fighter, and you had like a little bit of RPG elements. What I'm trying to say is there were so many Dragon Ball Z games throughout the years, starting with those, and there were ones on the Game Boy Advance. There were ones on the NES even.
Wow.
Going way back, like Dragon Ball games.
Yeah.
Mostly in Japan, they ported. Anyway, it's a whole thing. They had to replace Bulma's panties with, I think, like ice cream cones or like pizza slices in the American release.
Stop.
Yeah, and it was before Dragon Ball hit the United States, so the entire game is rebranded.
Oh,
he plays like a monkey boy, which
well, they wouldn't know
fair.
Anything about it. Yeah,
Exactly.
so interesting.
yeah, it's called Dragon something.
Dragon
I
Monkey.
gotta look into that.
Dragon
but
Monkey Boy.
yeah, regardless, so many Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z games that yes, Kakarot and Fighters are incredible games in their own right, and they're very well regarded, especially Dragon Ball Fighter Z. But because there were so many baby steps to get there, and we've had so many Dragon Ball Z games, it's like it's the evolution of stuff that was already in place for a long time. Which is why I think the hype behind Dragon Ball Kakarot, especially, wasn't as big as it possibly could be. So great games, but the luster's a little gone because I'm not 12 anymore.
I think you're right that there's been more variety with Dragon Ball because they had so many early games. They were like figuring it out. You know,
And
they were
the biggest of all time, so it's gonna. Well, there's arguments now about that.
But I do feel like in recent times everything has become a clone or a copy of like Ultimate Ninja Storm, which.
True.
For better or for worse, I mean, some people really like those fighter style games. They're cool, like the 3D kind of like running around. You do really awesome, your Nine Tails, whatever specials.
Yeah.
All the specials are like so OP and insane. The animations are fun. But personally, I would love to see a really cool animation style video game of an RPG. Whether it's Dragon Ball or it could be Naruto, I feel like they could.
Naruto would work. Make your ninja.
Choose, make your ninja. Go to different
village.
Go to different villages. There's got to be the side quests, the main quest. I would say a longer play time than an hour in these trying times in this economy. You're paying $60 for a game. But do you think that would sell? Or
I do. I think it's brilliant, and I kind of just to build on that point. I think anime games are limited by fan service to a degree.
1,000%.
Especially with the Naruto
Yeah.
and Dragon Ball. I mean, Dragon Ball Kakarot, again, great, but it's like there's so much fan service. It's clear that that's on the forefront. And I think it stops them from truly kind of building their own unique game mechanics to make something truly amazing. And pardon my ignorance, because I don't want to say anything, just because it's a similar style.
Say it out loud.
I'm not calling these anime games. But to me, and maybe it's just my dumb Western-centric kind of...
Speak your truth.
But I feel like games that kind of feel like anime, but are their own properties, do it the best. And I'm thinking of two series in particular. One, the No More Heroes franchise, which is its own type of thing. They just had No More Heroes 3 recently. This was a Wii release, I think, originally. A lot of fun. And the action of that game, it's the closest to an anime in a video game, like anime fighting in a video game. Again, pardon my ignorance and my use of terminology.
Somebody out there's getting mad.
But it's a video game first, anime style kind of second.
Right.
And the other, and part of my, because I haven't played it, I'm a terrible gamer. The Persona series feels kind of very My Hero Academia style type of.
I mean, it's Japanese, inspired character designs, and like they all have their special moves.
Right.
I could see that.
And the 2D style kind of, or the cell shaded, I should say.
But I wish, I don't know, cell shaded. I don't know. You should say anything.
Yeah.
But I wish, like, Persona is so good, and whether it's that they've found their own rhythm and have continued building off of that and didn't start by saying like we're going to make an anime game.
No, and you go way back to Persona 1.
Yeah.
It's not.
But there's so
like
much
that at
more.
all.
There's so much more choice, and like I don't know. I just feel like to repeatedly put out fighter game clones and rebrand it as a Dragon Ball game, a Naruto game, a My Hero game, whatever. To me, it's boring. And again, maybe that's just me. Maybe people are out there and like love when a new Naruto fighter style game comes out.
Yeah.
They don't hate on Ultimate Ninja Storm. Fine, whatever. That's for you. I just feel like as a lover of anime, I would love to see some more exploration of like the depth of character, the arcs that these wonderful characters, like Rock Lee,
Yeah.
not just play Rock Lee in a fighter arena game, but to like, I don't know, even if it was an RPG where you don't build your own character.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like not what people want. They want to play the classics. You play as Naruto for a bit, and then for a different mission, you switch over to Rock Lee, and you got to do stuff with like the Leaf Village, and then you switch over to Sasuke, and you do like an evil side mission.
Ooh, so like a full adventure kind of like Mass Effect style.
Yes.
Ooh.
I think that would be really fun. But you know what? It is fan service. A lot of it is fan service. I'm curious what everybody thinks out there who's a lover of anime, a lover of video games.
I'll make one more point, and this is kind of building off a previous TikTok we made a while ago when we were talking about anime. And there's enough Dragon Ball games, and I agree. Something
Hot take.
original.
No more.
Dragon Ball Z games in particular, and Dragon Ball Fighter Z kind of tried to do what you're talking about, where you make your own character, and that's implemented into the story in a unique way. I feel like the way they did it was a bit of a half measure.
Okay.
But not to get derivative and play a story we've played many times, which is why I think an original Dragon Ball game based on the original Dragon Ball before Dragon Ball Z, because that's when most of the video games start, is, Raditz arriving on Earth, maybe with the King Piccolo saga. But regardless, Dragon Ball is about adventure, not fighting. And
True.
to have like a Breath of the Wild, you're little kid Goku, and you're fighting dinosaurs and catching fish, and then Bulma shows up, and
With a fully clothed Bulma.
Right? Yes.
She's wearing like
Goku too.
pants the whole time.
100%. No, yeah. And then when you at your leisure, you can go and collect the Dragon Balls and visit Master Roshi, and then fight in the tournament. You can go all the way through all 3 tournament arcs and the Red Ribbon Army saga. So many Dragon Ball Z games, not enough Dragon Ball games, based on adventure, RPG elements. I'm cool with playing as Goku, but
and especially playing as like young Goku. I feel like one of the main anime tropes is like a coming of age story.
Sure.
Usually a male protagonist, coming of age story, honing his powers, learning from the elders, and I feel like maybe that's what I feel like is missing.
And what's the hot Dragon Ball anime right now? Dragon Ball Daima, where they turned him into a kid again, which some people are a little derivative, like, but like still, Kid Goku we want to play as. I mean, we don't need to play as a god. We've played as a god enough. Like, let's go back to little kid with the tail who's really strong. Like, that's cool. That's
everything
fun.
Can't start over 9,000. You have to build up to get to 9,000.
Make Yamcha a threat again.
I think that's a great idea. And though we talk about like clone games and like sequels and things like that a lot, a prequel in that sense, I feel like could be huge. I would really, really enjoy that. I'm curious, what does everybody else think? Comment, maybe this will get clipped in like a TikTok or something. Comment down below. But the real question is, these games, this amazing game that's gonna save anime video games, where is it gonna come out? Because I feel like this is I want to segue into this. This is like a hot button topic that we talk about a lot. We do. The console wars.
If they still exist.
If they still exist.
Even.
The PC versus console, versus now Steam Deck, handheld, the Switch.
Most people, when they think console wars, they're thinking like the top 2 contenders, your Genesis versus Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
N64
obviously.
versus PlayStation.
Obviously, that's what people are talking about.
When they think console war, I'm just saying, they don't think PC versus... home console is a different argument.
Grandpa's talking about the console war that he fought so many years ago. He's talking about the NES.
I'm trying to say, because we're talking about PlayStation versus Xbox,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, right? The two heavy hitters.
I would say that the console war now is PlayStation v Xbox.
Nintendo's always a contender, but it's kind of its own.
Nintendo's like an outlier now, especially
yeah.
with the Switch becoming not only handheld but console, and Switch 2.
We got to talk more about Switch 2 as well.
We got to talk more about Switch 2. But first, the main contenders of the console war, Xbox, PlayStation, they've been vying for power ever since PS5 and the Xbox S and everything.
Since PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
They've been vying for power since they came out. But I mean, in recent times too, it's sort of been like a, who's going to be the best? Do we care about this anymore? Because there's been an announcement that Halo, which is, canonically only Xbox. When I grew up, I had to go to my neighbor's house to get their LAN to play Halo because I was a PlayStation house and I didn't have an Xbox. But now they say Halo's coming to PlayStation.
First and foremost,
I feel like we're at a funeral.
I feel
just like a big sigh.
And I'm thinking about it because we've had 4 generations now of PlayStation and Xbox being the top 2 contenders. I know Switch sold gangbusters, we sold gangbusters, but we're talking PlayStation, Xbox here.
And PlayStation, which is now Sony, with Microsoft, 2 big powerhouses.
Right, exactly. And they have a bigger budget than Nintendo. They're bigger companies.
Than Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft and Sony do much more than video games, so they have the budget behind them. But is it really a war if one side wins every single battle?
And you think that's PlayStation?
It is PlayStation. I mean, PlayStation 2, best-selling console of all time.
Still have mine.
The closest Xbox came was the Xbox 360 versus the PlayStation 3.
Yep.
Where for a majority of the lifespan, Xbox 360 was doing awesome. They were number 1. But guess what? Towards the end of the lifespan, Xbox lost steam.
Red rings. You guys remember the red
rings?
Rings?
Was a factor. Great games on the PlayStation like Last of Us. Their exclusives kind of came out towards the end of their life cycle and boosted sales towards the end. So even the closest they got, PlayStation 3, still outsold the Xbox 360. And then the last 2 generations, PS4 and PS5, killed Xbox. Killed them.
Because there was Xbox One and Xbox S.
I don't even remember the names anymore. XS, SX, Xbox X and a half. Like, what the fuck? Microsoft, you've honestly, that's a factor. It's not the only factor. What the fuck is up with the naming of the Xbox?
They blundered that one.
They really did.
You already have X in the name.
Yeah,
do a number after it.
I don't know what these numbers these stand for.
That's like when the iPhone started. The iPhone was like, we're really getting up there with numbers.
Yeah.
We should start calling it SE and different things. Then people were like, actually, we hate that. Please don't do that.
Yeah. Nintendo 64 is stupid name, dated, but it still works. It's iconic, and the Xbox Series 1? What are we doing? The Xbox One?
Also, what
What?
Is this NASCAR?
That's the third one?
The Xbox Series 1.
I don't even understand that. Again, they botched that so bad. It makes me not want to buy their consoles.
But you also bring up an interesting thing, which I hadn't really thought about. Shelf life of these consoles. I still have my PS2. And it works. And I brought that to college, and I did not take care of it. I would put it under my bed. It got dusty. I didn't keep it in a safe box or anything. My PlayStation 2 still works. Most of my games are fine. My Xbox...
But you're lucky you just didn't get scratched or your
I kept them in a case.
laser.
I kept them in a case.
Yeah.
But my Xbox 360 got the red rings, and ever since that Xbox died, I did not buy another Xbox.
Yeah.
Which I think goes to show PlayStation outlasts more games on the PlayStation. And now that, a huge contender like Halo, I feel like Halo... What are people playing on Xbox aside from Halo?
No, I agree with you. I'm curious why. I mean, that's the one thing that could possibly be a system seller and an exclusive for Microsoft.
Because of the money!
And I get it. Halo isn't what it used to be 20 years ago, but...
But people still like it.
People still like it, and it's I would want to hold on to that just in case, the value might explode in 10 years. It's either they're giving up, and Microsoft is kind of throwing in the towel as far as a real console contender, leaving it to Sony and Nintendo, or they have something different planned in the works.
You think they've got a back pocket IP, and they're like, oh, you take Halo. Who knows? Who knows what goes on behind closed doors?
I mean, or maybe a different type of video game. Maybe they're, VR is still waiting for a huge leap. Maybe
could you imagine if Xbox outpaces
It's
PlayStation
possible.
with VR.
I mean, it's Microsoft. I don't see them lying. It's like Google just giving up and letting them. Like they're the CEOs make too much money. I mean, that's a different argument to just not even try to compete when you have this huge market share, which they're losing.
Like you said, Microsoft is not only video games. They have a lot of other markets. So this could, they could look at the Xbox as the Yahoo answers of what they've got going on, and they're like, yeah, we actually don't need you.
It's too much of. I mean, and you could argue there's a video game bubble, but compared to like streaming bubbles and other things, I feel more. Video games have been more and more popular since their inception. I don't see them. It's Microsoft. They're an evil giant corporation. Like they're not going to leave money on the table when there's money to be gained. They're going to try. They're not just going to lay over and die and give up their rights to Halo for no reason, right?
Make a bold prediction, Marcus. What do you think Microsoft has going on? You think they got a back pocket IP?
I don't. I think they have some kind of gaming computer or handheld thing ripoff. I don't know. I don't see it. Honestly, my instinct in Occam's razor is that
they are giving up.
They just can't compete. Yeah, maybe that's because that's the thing too with these crazy expensive consoles. It's a risk, When the PlayStation 3 was $600, I believe to manufacture the PlayStation 3 was still like $800 or something crazy like that.
Well, dude, now video cards, are going for so much more because of fucking bit mining and all that stuff to run the computers that are doing all of that. Whatever.
I'm not that guy. I am terrible with finances. Money scares me. But if you told me that Microsoft lost money on the last generation of Xboxes, I would believe it. And then, in this economy, then it makes more sense for them to kind of be selling off what they can while they can.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's weird.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. The whole console war thing, I think it's like a fallacy of a name. I don't think it's a war. I agree with you. I think it's like a slow dying, just like a slow. It feels like a slow fizzle out at this point.
I feel like console wars is very much a '90s thing, and it was all of advertisement. Remember when McDonald's and Burger King would have ads just straight up ripping each other?
Yep.
Pepsi and Coke were probably the biggest example. Pepsi would go after Coke.
PlayStation had some of the buck wildest ads. David Lynch.
Yeah.
Directed a PlayStation 2 ad. Mm-hmm. That's the scariest, weirdest thing you've ever seen, and it makes no sense, and it's just like, PlayStation.
Right. Oh, that was the 2000s marketing.
Oh, true. That was the 90s.
Weird.
Yeah, 2000s.
PlayStation 3 had some, like the weird baby doll. Do you remember that one?
Oh, my God. Now I just want to watch the ads.
But in the, Genesis does what Nintendo don't. That was like a huge deal.
Oh, my God. They were just doing like slander marketing.
Just straight up attacking Nintendo, and it worked. Genesis was above Nintendo until the Super Nintendo came out.
So what Xbox needs to do is bully Sony.
Well, it used to be a war. Like it used to be Sega versus Nintendo, Nintendo versus Sony. And it's just kind of become a little neutered, and you don't see that as much. And again, it's the fact that Halo is going to be on PlayStation. It's just unthinkable in the sense of the wars of the 90s. But when you have these giant companies that aren't video games first,
man, you know what's crazy too? Everyone's going to have to like remap their PlayStation controllers because they're going to be so used to Xbox. They're just going to be like, everyone's going to suck at Halo again. This is the perfect time to get into Halo. You can murk everyone if you're used to PlayStation. The console stuff too. The other day, I digress, but I went to show my fiance Cyberpunk because he was looking for a new game and he had played Outer Worlds.
Sure.
And I was like, I think you'd really like Cyberpunk. It's kind of similar with the HUD interface, sort of futuristic. He didn't like Skyrim. He was like, this is not for me. I want something more like action-packed. And I was like, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
So I was like, I bought it in the PS Plus store when it came out. I disabled my account because I wasn't really using it, but I'll just enable it again and you should play on the PlayStation.
Sure.
I have a PS4.
Yeah.
Logged in. Went to go look at Cyberpunk. I was like, oh, we'll just buy it. We'll just buy it because I don't have the account anymore. Just like, fuck it. We'll just own the game. Little message comes up and it's like, hey, they're not making patches for this and they haven't since 2022 for the PlayStation 4. They just
only PlayStation 4.
Straight up, they just were like, we're not making any more updates to this because Cyberpunk has had a huge overhaul of updates, amazing DLC. Phantom Liberty is incredible.
That wouldn't bother me for many games, but that's a red flag for Cyberpunk.
I was just like, like the game came out in like 2021. I was like,
Yeah.
you stopped making patches in 2022? So I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, this is worthless. And granted,
So it's janky. It's not like they fixed most of the issues, or
no, they did, but not anymore on the PS4.
Got it.
So like he ended up buying it on the Steam Deck because I was like, you should get it. It's amazing. Just
Wow.
it's not worth it to buy it on the PS4. And then he was making jokes at my expense, and he's like, this console came out in like 2013. This is an old console. And I was like,
mind blowing.
I was like, don't you say that. I don't need a PS5. But the console wars are real. Like
Yeah.
and it comes back around where they sort of force you into picking one at some point. You're like, you're gonna have to get a new console. So I still think that PlayStation comes out on top. When I go to look if I'm gonna get a PS5, if I ever want to play beautiful Cyberpunk on my PlayStation again, I'm not gonna get an Xbox. I'm probably just gonna get another PlayStation. So
Yeah.
I feel like you're right, but I am curious to see. I don't know, maybe a year, 2 years, any announcements coming from Microsoft about what's going on, because I agree, does seem weird that they would give Sony their ace. It almost feels like.
You know what's really mind blowing, especially because the Switch 2 just came out.
Should we talk about that?
Well, we can. I kind of want to segue off what you're saying because
Yeah.
we make this argument all the time how we've been stubborn and haven't upgraded our PlayStation 4s. It's kind of mind blowing to realize we're pretty close potentially to the announcing of PlayStation 6 for the next
Stop.
console. I know.
Stop.
We could be within a year away. I
I
mean,
know.
it's been a while. But
And you already know that Sony is scheming up some bundles for a new Halo. There's skins. They're going to do
Perhaps.
skins on the console, the controllers. I feel like they're going to go 100% into the Halo card now that they've got it.
I mean, might as well. And watch them revitalize the series in a way and bring it to new heights. And Xbox is
Master
just
Chief,
like,
they're going to do the Master Chief freaking popcorn buckets
Yeah.
like they do at every
Out of
movie.
a
You
helmet.
open his visor, you reach into his head.
100%. But we always make the argument, what is the game that would make me want to get a PlayStation 5? Since we last talked,
Yeah.
I've realized there is one title that won a lot of Game of the Year awards, which we're going to be talking about
Was it
today.
one of my favorite games?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
Which one? What are you thinking?
It was Baldur's Gate, but that already
It
won.
wasn't Baldur's
that already
Gate.
won.
But that Baldur's Gate you can play on earlier generations, can't you?
Yeah. You can play on
exactly.
a PS4.
Yeah. But I'm talking
Exclusive.
PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Exclusive, okay.
As we're talking about exclusives.
Is it Cyberpunk? Because apparently,
I mean, that is technically an exclusive, apparently.
I'm gonna freak out.
You know, I love me my 3D platformers, my classic 3D platformers. Return to form, and from Sony, no less, Astrobot.
Oh,
Phenomenal 3D platformer,
okay.
which I haven't dove into as much as I want to just yet. But that is mainly because I don't have a PlayStation 5. But PlayStation 5 exclusive, and it's the first time a PS5 exclusive came out where I'm like, no, I might have to buy PlayStation 5. I'm not going to spend $500,000 though just to play Astrobot, I will say. But that is finally they're starting to get. I feel like maybe the market share tipped enough where they're finally like, okay, we have to make these exclusive PS5 games that are truly worth getting a console for instead of a half measure of releasing most games on.
Also, the PS5, it's got to come down in price. It can't still be $600, is it?
I don't buy my cars used. I don't buy my consoles used.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, I don't.
Wait, what?
Scratch that, River. I don't buy cars new, and neither do my consoles.
One more.
Who?
This time with feeling.
I don't buy my cars or consoles new. Used, refurbished, will do.
So you would buy it refurbished?
100%. That's
Yeah.
why I buy most of my consoles.
Hell yeah. You
I'll
guys,
be honest.
new egg? I'm always on
My
there.
Switch was new, but I only bought that new because I lied on my resume for the leaderboard and had to buy a Switch really quick that day.
Tax write-off.
Anyway.
It's for work.
Yeah.
I swear.
I caught up quick. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah. No, you were better at Smash than I was, so.
Just saying. But yeah, that's the whole console thing, exclusivity.
That would
Game of the year. That's my
what
segue.
would rope you in.
More exclusives. I'm not spending $500,000 for Astrobot, even though I love 3D platformers. Give me 2 more exclusive PS5 games that are must plays, and I'm in. That's all I've been waiting for, honestly. And we're now at the end of the life, cycle of the console, which is mind blowing.
Unbelievable. You said game of the year though.
Yes.
Are you saying Astrobot? What do you?
No.
Oh.
And granted, I haven't played it enough, but my Game of the Year pick is an indie title. We're going to talk more about Game of the Year, or just the games in 2024 in general during our tier list later.
We'll do a sort of recap and kind of rank stuff on the tier list, which I'm very excited for.
But we got a little time to talk about, if you had to pick one game, we got about 5 minutes here. One game as your pick of the year for 2024. You were big.
Did Baldur's Gate come out in 2024? It was 2023.
We talked about this a year ago, and that was your 2023.
That was my 2023 pick. God, I'm still playing it. Isn't that incredible?
You can, if that's your game of the year for 2024, that's your game of the year 2024.
No.
Remember, expansions sometimes get game of the year, which I think is a little unfair. But
well, here's a question: what about a game like WoW? Can that
World of Warcraft?
Yeah. It's continually putting out new servers. It just did its anniversary realms, which I've hopped into. I'm playing World of Warcraft. It's official. Never thought that would be me. Never played it before, but
I mean, sure. If
30 years old, I'm playing World of Warcraft. I'm struggling to think of what came out in 2024.
Yeah.
But don't think that this is like lack of good games. I think this is Sydney's goldfish brain and only drinking half her cup of coffee. But remind me, what games?
Well, there's Balatro.
Oh, people love
which
Balatro.
I played poker, so I've been playing.
Okay. I haven't
Similar
played
my whole life.
Balatro, but dear God, how many Steam friends in the lower right-hand corner of my PC pop up that they are constantly playing Balatro. I see you.
I mean, it's not honestly the greatest list for the Game Awards, at least. There's Black Myth Wukong. Monkey thing.
Yeah, Sun Wukong. It's based off of Journey to the West, which is a great,
Dragon Ball also is.
Folklore. Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Literally, he's a little monkey boy.
Yeah, and the Elden Ring expansion, because Elden Ring didn't come out this last year. This is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree.
I've heard that it's hard.
I believe it is.
Do you believe me?
Well, I like Bloodborne. Bloodborne's like my Soulsborne, and then I got really into Sekiro.
Oh, yeah,
But anyway, I need to get into Elden Ring eventually. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Is that the second or third Final Fantasy remake? That's the second one, right?
I don't know. I didn't play it. I know it came out. I'm bad.
Metaphor Refentazi. I've never even heard of that game. Weak year for gaming.
Cue crickets. cue crickets for Sydney while she listens to these games and goes, I don't remember that one.
So WoW is not the worst choice.
Was that really? Was that like the best of the best?
I mean, there was a great the Silent Hill 2 remake got Best Narrative nomination.
It's a fucking remake.
Yeah, what was do you want to do? Was Pal World this last year? No, that might have been 2023.
And they're gone now. They got sued.
I know. I just thought it'd be funny for you to pick that.
right.
Black Ops 6.
Stop. Just stop. Well, this is for the tier list.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Stop. No.
Oh, Hellblade 2.
Okay.
Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. You like Hellblade 2?
Hellblade is good. I didn't play Hellblade 2 though, which isn't saying that it's a bad game. I was just so busy with other games. But I want to know what your top pick was. Maybe it'll refresh my brain.
It's an indie game.
Okay. Tucks hair behind ears. You've never heard of it.
Well, it turns out that we're out of time. So I will tease it and say it's an indie game, and maybe I'll...
Cliffhanger?
If we run out of time during the tier list, because I could talk about this game for an hour, maybe next episode as well. But we will mention it in our tier list. But first...
Before the tier list...
we have an exciting guest. Who is it, Sydney?
It is Shiho, who I got to meet when I was hosting a different show on ESR. So it'll be like a little reunion for us. I can't wait. But yeah, Shiho is fantastic. She knows a ton about anime. Stick around. We're going to talk to her next. Are you struggling over there?
Yeah, I am struggling pretty hard.
Let's make it harder. I am your host of eSports Time, Strange Play.
Ooh, I almost tripped. And you know I'm cranking it.
She's cranking it. We're going to be playing with plantains. You heard that right. The starchy cousin to the banana, a plantain. Wait, brother, you gotta turn around. You gotta make a U-turn. Make a U-turn. Who is the best of the best? The creme de la creme. Somebody from Team Melody competing against somebody from Team Entertain. Let's go. Woo!
I think you're going down.
Oh, let the trash talk begin. There's still, do you have like carpal tunnel now already?
Yeah, let's go.
Why won't you die? That is incorrect. I'm sorry, Ari. Boy, that's fun to say. I'm sorry, Ari. Now we are moving on to the talent show. There can only be one.
Welcome back to Next Level Play. We have an incredible guest. Sydney, you have a bit of history with our amazing guest today.
Of history.
I'll let you introduce.
We have the pleasure of having Shiho Matsuoka with us, who I got to meet on ESR's Strange Play, which was a really, really fun show that I got to host. And Shiho was on the show as a musician because I don't want to speak for you, but you are a singer, an actor, a lover of anime and video games. Tell me about yourself,
Yeah,
Shiho.
let's put her on the spot.
I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm on the spotlight now. Hi, my name is Shiho, and it actually means to keep the passion in Japanese.
Ooh,
yeah, my
love
name is
that.
Shiho. I love it. Thank you. And I've been in New York for 12 years, and I used to be a journalist and turned into Anya today from Spy Family.
I know, this cosplay is so cute. You look
Thank
amazing.
you. You see this thing?
This little tiny. So this is from Spy Family, which I didn't know. Is that one of your favorite animes?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And each family member has a superpower, but this whole fake family doesn't know about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is her superpower?
Well, what is it in English? But you can see what people are thinking. What is it called?
Not
Telekinesis is moving things.
It's not
with your mind,
teleport.
but-
It's a therapist. I don't know. I forgot.
mind
Yeah,
reading.
mind reading. Yeah. that's-
Mind reading.
Mind reading. Yes.
Yeah,
that-
nothing too. There's maybe
That-
some fancy term for it. But
Please don't read our minds while we do the show because I feel like mine just
I
like
Yeah.
I just like keep thinking about random stuff.
Dr. Xavier, right? Basically. Or-
Yeah, from X-Men.
Yeah.
You go like this.
That's his name, right?
Oh, you
Dr.
can see.
X.
Professor.
Professor X.
Doctor.
I'm sure he has his doctorate.
If
I'm
he's a-
sure he has his doctorate.
if he-
Okay.
okay.
PhD.
Yeah.
That man has a lot of
PhD.
degrees. Yeah.
Yes.
He gets it in like 5 minutes. He gets another degree. It's not hard for him.
But Marcus, you haven't met Shiho before.
I have not.
But Shiho, when you were on Strange Play, totally different show, totally different vibe. We were like making you do crazy stuff and play video games by like touching apples.
Yeah,
and,
that was so cool.
It was
apples were the controller.
yeah, it
We're
was.
just promoting the
I know.
show. I
I'm
love
like,
it though.
tune into Strange Play. You might have to release the other apple and go one at a time. Yep.
Oh, that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Let's go.
Oh wow! Oh, so close. Nice.
Yeah.
There we go. Now Shippoku's in the lead.
We're so close. We're like right next to
You're neck and neck.
Which way are you going? To
Now you gotta go the other way.
this way.
Got confused. The map changes back and forth. You kind of you gotta weave back and forth.
Go, 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 go.
Each with
slide, slide.
two wins.
And then to the right.
Yeah, she's got it. Oh
I don't know
man,
which one to grab now. To the left.
When you were on Strange Play, you sang some really awesome. Were they from anime? Some karaoke songs.
That was by a famous voice actor.
That's what it
that
was.
also did Spy Family.
Okay. Wow, it all comes full circle.
There we go.
But Shiho's an amazing singer, and I was like, oh, we're so lucky to have her on this episode when we're talking about so much anime, because you're also a big fan of some musicians that have sung anime opening songs or
Yes.
credit songs. But we'll get to that. We will get to that. But first, tell us more about yourself.
About me?
Yeah.
So I worked in news actually as a producer for the biggest Japanese TV, but here at the New York Bureau for 10 years. And
Wow.
I was covering hardcore news like shootings, the United Nations. So every time North Korea launched some missile, my dinner plan was canceled because I had to go to the Security Council
Thanks,
meeting.
North Korea.
No, with this wig, clearly.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Well, the news hasn't been volatile in the last decade.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It must have been chill.
Nothing
Yeah.
bad
Nothing
has been
crazy has
happening.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see what's going to happen.
Slow news day after slow news day.
10 years.
10
you were
years.
with Nippon TV.
Yes.
In New York.
In New
Well, you've
York.
been here for
Very
12
cool.
years now.
Yeah, so I went to school for 2 years and I
Wow.
graduated. Technically, I was supposed to work for Disney.
Oh.
And then I had like a work permit, but the work permit card back then the government was shut down and it didn't physically arrive
Wow.
Wait,
to
is this...
me.
Whoa. Okay.
So I called Disney. Hey, I have an offer from you guys,
can't.
but I don't have this card. So they're like, okay, if you don't have it and if you can't be here on this day, bye-bye. So I was like,
Was that like what 2015? Or?
yeah,
Yeah,
something
that
like
was
that.
a mess of a time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
No,
So-
that's so interesting. So then you were like fresh out of school.
I was so devastated. I was like, it was such a big dream to work for, Disney. Look at the stuff, isn't it neat? And nothing was neat.
Nothing was magical.
Nothing was neat. So I had to look for a job, but I wanted to stay in New York to see if I could try out for musicals.
Yeah, because you're an actor and a singer.
Yeah, but actors in Japan, here in Japan, very different. Usually, any college you go here, there's a music major, there's theater major. But in Japan, it's so different. Unless you go to a conservatory or you were born to be an actor or a musician, you don't go to that route out of nowhere.
Oh. Right. So are the colleges more like specific to your major? You don't have as many?
It's interesting. It's specific but non-specific because when you apply for a job, here it's very specific. You have to be majoring in accounting to become an accountant.
Yeah.
Right? In Japan, you study whatever, you become whatever, unless it's like very specific, like doctor or lawyer.
Okay.
But if you want to be a salesman, you could be studying whatever. And you just look for a job with everybody at the same time every year. Like March.
Fascinating. But
yeah.
but when you go to those colleges, you don't get to take like the musical theater and stuff.
No,
you have to
no.
go to a conservatory.
Here, you could be a business major and minor in theater, and you do
That was me,
musicals on the
basically.
side.
Yeah, no, I was pre-law. I was already going to law
Nobody does
school.
that.
Yeah, they call it liberal arts.
Right.
And
Liberal arts,
it's
yes.
the arts are included with like the sciences and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I was a theater major, but my parents.
you are?
I was, yeah, but my parents who helped foot the bill. I was very privileged and generous of them.
Yeah.
Could not get away with that without my political science degree as well, with my criminal justice
yeah.
minor. So it
Oh
was
my
like
God,
I
so
was
you
it
did
was pre-law. Yeah, so
two majors.
theater was originally just gonna kind of pad my GPA as like, oh, easy classes and then get my GPA
yeah.
up. Turns out my GPA for theater ended up being lower than poli sci because I couldn't get up for the 9 a.m. class.
That's
So I
how.
dropped to a B for my kabuki class, which was incredible.
Kabuki?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Shout out
That's
David
so cool.
Furamoto. Anyway.
Wow.
So a
So-
lot of fun, but undergrad to me is always kind of a, can you do life and complete your assignments, whereas the master's degree is where you kind of specialize. But I feel like what you're describing is Japan, it's even more so where, hey, you can, there's less of an emphasis on specializing as an undergrad, and yet you're saying, well, you can't just be an actor unless you have that decided early in life. So
Yeah.
if you want to go into the arts, do you have to make that decision at like 12 years old, basically?
did you
'Cause
did you know
I
that
decided
coming
at 20.
coming to New York, were you like, I want to do acting and go to school at the same time?
No, so I wanted to major in music. I was doing like band before, but I like to sing. I never got trained, but I wanted to learn it. And I was coming here through my Japanese school because studying abroad here is so expensive. In Japan, nobody pays that much for school. Here, education
other
and healthcare is
countries.
insane.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
America.
Yeah, it's privatized and it's very
In
expensive.
New
Yeah.
York, I mean,
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
not
Here,
an
you
option.
could be paying like, I don't know, 80 grand a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Japan, it's like 10 grand a year.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go to, so it's the opposite. Private school and public school in Japan here are opposite. If you want to go to really good school in Japan, that's public.
Ah,
Here, it's private.
interesting.
So if you study hard and got into a good school, then you pay less. In Japan, here you have to be rich to be able to good school, no matter how smart you are.
Seems like
it's all about like
Japan has it figured
Yeah.
out that if you do well and study really hard, you shouldn't have to pay as much.
Right.
Right.
Fascinating. Okay,
Yeah.
so you graduated.
Yeah, so I used my school that
Yeah.
would pay for study abroad here.
Smart.
And I wanted to study music, but they were like, whoa, music, it's not that academic. I was like, okay, here we go again. You have to major in something else. And then if you want to do music on top of it, you can do it. So I ended up doing communication and music double major.
Nice.
So I graduated and I couldn't work for Disney and I wanted to try out for theater because I found out here anybody can try out for theater. It's like accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try and I started applying for whatever the job, like food company, Japanese, the auto company. Then I found out no matter how much they liked me for interview, when they look at the resume, they're like, I can't. You know why? Because we talked to our lawyer. We'd have to sponsor you with a visa.
Yes.
And I took a communication degree because I thought I could use that for anything. And they don't look at the degree, they look at the classes. And I took most of the classes in music. And they're like, we have to match the job description and the description of like classes, not even the title of the class, description.
I will say, I'm shocked they looked at the classes. I will say for most United States citizens getting jobs, no one looks at even your college degree. Like you say you have a BA or an essay, you know, I studied science. They're like, great. That they don't care. They don't ask for it. So that's shocking that they went that in depth. But I guess it makes sense because they have to sponsor you. They want to do their research.
Right.
So is that how you found Nippon? Because they were looking for...
Usually you get a working visa called H-1B. That's like the most generic visa for any foreigners here. And usually company has to pay about 10 grand.
That's expensive.
Hiring a lawyer and do the processing and all that.
Okay.
So I couldn't get any of the jobs that I applied for. Then I happened to interview for Nippon TV. It was like a 3 or 4 interview process. And what they sponsored was a journalist visa. You don't even need a junior high school degree.
You were like, great, don't look at the music stuff. I'll be a journalist.
It's not that they didn't care, but this visa didn't require that sort of thing.
But
it's different.
You seemed perfectly aligned for that with the communications degree. Or how were you nervous? Were you?
I was so nervous. No. Well, they had somebody very bitchy before me. That was really good at the job. But she left out of nowhere. I was told she was wearing black sunglasses as soon as she get upset at the desk.
Oh. Inside? She would put on sunglasses?
As soon as she gets mad,
I feel like she's an anime character.
Yeah.
Like, she
I
goes
gotta go
evil.
dark mode.
Yeah, she's like, now I'm not messing around.
She was really good at the job, but they were like, you know what? Let's get somebody that's like nice. Not worry about,
you were
know.
a good pick. You were a good pick. You're very nice.
So they knew that I didn't have any background in journalism. I had never watched the news. I had never read newspaper. I'm so bad at kanji.
You lied.
I lied. But I told about, how I was sleeping in the practice room with the 2 piano chairs because I didn't have time to go back and forth, doing double major. Basically, I had to do double major as a foreigner in 2 years.
Wow.
When everybody does 1 or 2 in 4 years. Wow. Maximum, I was taking 10 classes a semester. Taking 5 is usually a full-time student because one class is like 3 credits, like 15 credits. If I was taking 10 classes
to finish.
To finish. And also because I didn't have to pay, no matter how many classes I took, I wanted to take more and more.
That makes sense. Wait, so when we met on Strange Play, you had left your job.
Yes.
Which you were celebrating because it was 10 years of stress.
Yes.
As a journalist, and a producer, I can complete markets, and I both work in film and television, and it is stressful to be a producer.
Yeah.
Everything comes down on you. If something goes wrong, they turn to the producers. They blame the producers. So what was that decision like? I know a lot of people, want to follow their dreams and pursue their passions. What was that like for you when you left? And I know you wanted to pursue music. You were like, I'm done. I've worked so hard. I've saved up and I'm going to pursue music. How was that? And how do you feel now?
I couldn't save up. Rather, I couldn't save up.
New York dream there.
And also working for a Japanese company here is very different. We get local hire, like me, people, and then the ones that are sent here. And the salary is like 3 times, 4 times more, and we don't get anything. We don't get any rent, help.
Oh, because they're coming over.
Yeah,
they get all the benefits.
Yeah,
but not you.
No, so they're like, here's the visa.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. I really loved working there, and I loved the job, but I couldn't leave because if I had left, I would be illegally staying here. So I got a green card.
Yeah,
I got a man and a green card.
Marriage. But you love your husband. He rocks.
Yes, on the paper. Yeah.
He's gonna watch this. He's gonna watch this.
He's the best.
No, he seems so sweet.
Well, all the work visa drama and all that. It's I don't know. I binge watched 90 Day Fiance with my girlfriend, and I feel like
it was a 1.5 week fiance.
Oh, it's incredible! I love how that's.
Away.
I mean, even without the marriage, it's like all that work. I know it's.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how complicated and stressful that is.
Yeah.
It's like not only are you in a new country halfway across the world from your home, it's like they don't legally allow you to work. It's like, what do you do?
And you feel trapped. You can't leave the job.
Yeah.
But now, you got a man. You got the ring. You left the job. You got the wig on. What have you been up to? How have you been? Tell me anything fun you're working on. Tell me animes you're watching,
Yeah,
obviously.
we want to hear about your anime tastes
Oh my
and
god.
favorites.
Oh
and all
yes,
that.
and I also got into 3 agencies.
Oh, congratulations.
that's huge.
Thank you.
Oh my
It's
God.
very big. Well, but you know,
is huge.
agencies is great, but you have to still book things yourself.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah,
Oh, you
it's
were?
the exact same
Yeah,
conversation.
you get the
Yeah.
agent and you're like, celebrate, but it's like you have to audition still
Yeah.
and book still. But
Yeah.
that's amazing. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's part of the journey.
Thank you.
It's a huge step. Yeah. so
Yeah.
It's a huge
congratulations.
step, and I'm still figuring out how to do it because I'm using this, casting networks. It's a casting website. You have to register, and you have a profile for each agent,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then send you stuff. But I'm constantly looking through everything, and I know all the castings they already sent me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I had already submitted.
submitted, yeah.
It's tough.
But I also hear sometimes it's better to
Do it through the
do it
agent.
through the
Yes.
agent.
I'm lazy. I let one agent do casting networks, one Actors Access. I
Yeah.
handle backstage on my own, and
Yeah.
I should be on Actors Access and casting networks on my own, and I'm just too lazy. So you're
it's
doing better
you
than I
have
am,
to
for
do it
sure.
all. But
Yeah.
I'm also doing voiceover.
That's
Oh,
huge.
nice.
Started doing voice. I want to do anime voiceover too,
Shiho, you would be so good. What kind of voice would you want to do? Like,
like a bright like character and also maybe childish. I think
Yeah.
I can do Anya. Spy, mission, waku waku. Yes.
would you do it in Japanese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I should say also Shiho obviously speaks fluent Japanese, so you would be perfect.
You could do the dub and the like you could do all
you could
multiple versions.
You
of
could
it.
do the dub, and then you could give them like the English, variations
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
That'd be
So
awesome.
cool. Okay, so wait.
I still think she'd be a good gruff like villain.
Villain.
I kind of like you. You know what you could be? I don't know what Anya's like, but I feel like you could be like an evil
Yeah.
little kid.
Oh yeah, that's
Like,
like why do you say that?
Yeah.
Or like a Doki Doki Literature Club where it like turns in the end where it's like, oh, so she's so sweet. And then it's like,
Yes.
oh, but it's actually
I
devious
love
at the
that.
end.
That Doki Doki's a really fun video game. Okay, so
Never played.
Shiho. It's a
Highly
whole,
recommend.
I shouldn't say anything. It can be scary, but it's a dating.
Scary?
It's a dating sim.
I do not have the
Oh,
patience
dating?
for visual novels. I feel like it's a visual novel meets dating sim.
Yeah,
kinda.
it's sort of like a.
More visual novel, I think.
It's like
more
a
than
classic anime dating simulator.
Yeah.
You're like a young boy at school, and you have like
Not too young.
not too. You're like a teen.
How?
You're,
You're an 18-year-old in school.
Sorry, you're a teenager boy. And there's like a few different girls at school that you're interested in, and you like talk with each of them for their personalities and stuff. But the game,
There's a twist.
there's a twist. I don't want to ruin it for people.
I want to play.
If you go in blind, that's the best. If you're excited,
Yeah.
play it. Don't
Okay.
look up anything
I'll
else.
remind you.
Okay.
Maybe you can get some like VO ideas.
It's a great afternoon of an experience. I highly recommend it.
There's a fun game I'd like to try where we're gonna look at one frame
Okay.
of an anime, and we're gonna try to guess just from the one frame,
Sometimes a poster, sometimes like a splash screen.
Okay.
But yeah, one frame.
maybe a character.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
try
yeah.
to guess which anime it is. This will be funny because my anime that I have seen, it's a very short list. It's
Mm-hmm.
not. I'm not an expert, but I thought this would be silly and fun. So do you want to do it? You want to do the game?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
let's get into it.
Let's put our credibility to the test. All right. Let's see here. All right. I'm going to try to pause it. We're going to slowly zoom out. If anyone knows, jump in, and we'll get 5 seconds once the full.
I'm scared.
I'm going to do terrible.
Probably old.
Let's start. Here's the first.
All right. Let's see.
I see a collar.
Black nail.
Black nails. Goth.
Black nails. Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
It's not Death Note.
Uh,
Oh wait, wait. Oh. Fuck. Wait. What is this anime?
Are you telling me?
It's not Death Note. It's
It does have Death Note vibes.
Yeah.
Zipper Man.
It's not Inuyasha.
Chainsaw Man.
The white hair
No.
makes me think Inuyasha.
No,
but
it's
that's
the
not it.
longer one.
I feel like I've seen this at so many cons. People
Yeah,
have done
I know,
this.
but
He
never
looks
figured.
kind of mechanical-ish. Is there any Full Metal Alchemist?
No,
I'm so
no, it's
ignorant.
not. It's not Full Metal.
All
this,
right.
this is like a leather bodysuit.
I think we're stumped. The answer is, oh, of course. It's all right. Moving on. Second one. We're 0 for 1, I
Guys
believe,
with-
unless
guys-
we got that right.
guys with guns, girls with guns.
Guys and girls with guns. They
Oh
look
wait,
high
I see
school
public
age.
safety.
Kind of a.
I'm cheating by reading the
FBI
poster.
thing.
What does it say? Something
What
public
is this?
safety.
Oh boy, we're doing great. Wait,
Psychopath.
Psychopath. It
Psychopath?
was.
I
You were
read
right.
it. I
Oh.
read it.
We did end up. We didn't get it.
Okay.
We didn't get it before it revealed.
Oh,
We're gonna
Dragon
count
Ball.
No,
Wait,
wait,
no.
pause
Dragon
it.
Ball.
This has got to be My Hero. Is it? Nope.
Oh,
Wow.
oh.
Thought it. Wait.
it. Green hair.
No.
Hunter.
Oh, it's Hunter Hunter.
Hunter Hunter. Is the
Hunter.
correct answer.
Dang
You got it first. It does help when they reveal the answer at the end. Well, you still got it before we did.
Lupin.
Oh.
Lupinです。
On the first
Lupin
frame,
sensei.
all we
No?
see is the nice little, what is
Lupin
that, a Walther?
です。
Walter?
Bam. No?
The little gun.
Yeah, a little. I believe you're right, Lupin the Third.
Wait,
I
no.
believe you are absolutely correct.
Is it?
That is Lupin.
It
That
is
is Lupin the Third. Well done. You get credit for that. So you got like 3 of them so far. All right, we got an apple.
Did you watch the new Lupin, the Netflix
No,
series?
I didn't know there's a new one.
There's a new one, yeah. There's an adaptation on Netflix.
Okay, I need to watch this.
Oh, I don't know.
Snow White.
No way.
The Seven Dwarfs.
All right, apple. Whenever a villain eats a fruit, you know he's devious.
Pause.
Oh, Death Note.
I was gonna think that makes he's gonna kill all these
Is that
people.
light with the apple? I don't even recognize
Yeah,
that.
I could
Okay.
tell from
It
the
was Death
guy with
Note.
the white t-shirt.
Okay.
I'm giving that one to Sydney.
Gundam.
It does look like
Gundam.
Yeah, but what?
Wait, but
there's
is
so
it?
many giant mech shows. I don't even know.
is
No,
this
No,
Attack on
this is
Titan?
not Gundam.
I have no idea. Burning Village, 2 giant gun arm.
Is this
things.
Attack on Titan?
It is.
Titan.
Sydney gets credit for that one. Well done.
Yes.
So we got 2 and 3. I'm at 0, I believe. Well done.
This is fun. This is one
This
punch.
is
One punch.
Is this One Punch Man?
One Punch Man.
3 and 3. If you're
One
correct,
punch.
I think you're right.
He's the only guy who punches like
It
that.
is One Punch Man.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed. Well done. Oh, Naruto.
Naruto,
gotta
yes.
be. I
got that one.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
That was really good.
Granted, I'm in control of the pausing, so I'll,
Wow. But what character?
I'm
Oh, it's
taking it.
Naruto.
Yeah.
I got. That's what I said.
You knew.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Is Shippuden a different? Like, is that a different? Okay.
Don't even worry
I'll
about it.
take
You got it.
I'll take it. Anyway,
One Piece.
is this One Piece?
Yeah.
I think you might be right. Yes,
Yes.
indeed. Well done. All right.
Yes,
3
I
for
could tell
1.
Sanji's hair.
All right, we got a little peace sign. Looks like a villainous fancy man. Look at the way he's holding his hands. I'm so
like-
fancy.
What is
Tucky.
that? But peace.
Stay away.
Keep going. Keep going.
I couldn't tell you. Yu Yu Hakusho. Why not? Oh, that kind of looks like the school thing.
Was it Full Metal?
Oh, we're going way back and
Oh, Jujutsu
Jujutsu
Kaisen.
Kaisen.
How do you say
Jujutsu
that?
Kaisen. Yeah, I've never seen it. I know that it's very popular.
I
We
know.
failed on that one.
Oh, One
Dragon
Piece.
Ball.
My Hero.
Dragon Ball. That's,
Kira
Oh, it's
that's
Dragon
Goku.
Ball.
That's
It's Dragon Ball.
Goku.
That's Goku. That's
I got
Goku.
2.
As soon as you see the wristband,
That's Kakarot. That's the Kakarot video game.
he's where is it? Don't we have
Oh.
Goku on the wall? He's somewhere.
That's like a Gohan Goku
Oh,
mix.
yeah.
All right, cool. All right.
Sword Art Online. I'm just gonna call. I have no idea. I don't
not a
think it
bad
is.
guess. Not a bad guess.
Is it Sword Art Online? It's
Is
definitely
this
not.
Guts?
Looks like
That's a
old
classic.
Inuyasha.
Looks
What?
like Castlevania.
I was about to
Oh,
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Oh, it is Wolverine.
Oh.
I thought it was a sword.
Wow,
Oh.
I did not.
Inuyasha!
Oh,
Oh no, it's
no.
not.
Samurai Champloo. It's Samurai Champloo.
Oh, 4 and 4 and 2, I believe.
Samurai
That
Champloo.
brings
One of my
us to.
wow, I
Very
forgot to say that.
Well done. Well
That is
done.
one of my favorite animes.
Very
What
nicely done,
is
Sydney.
this? I don't know this one.
Looks like a demon.
Yeah.
Devilman Crybaby, maybe?
Ooh, did you say Devil May Cry Baby? Maybe. I love that.
Devilman,
Is there an anime of Devil May Cry?
Devilman Crybaby.
Oh, I thought it was. I just know Devil May Cry the video game.
No,
Shows my
no.
ignorance.
Devilman Crybaby is a super gory adult one.
Okay.
What is?
Okay.
I
Berserk.
have no. Oh.
It is
Oh,
Berserk.
it is Berserk. Wow.
I don't know why the fuck I knew that.
Wow, that was impressive.
Thank you. It's because the
What
guts.
is
Because I was
this
thinking
one?
when I said Guts, Berserk is the anime. Guts is a character, and I got a little mixed
Ah.
up. Anyway, I know the classics. I know the classics.
Sailor Moon.
I was
4,
gonna
4, 3.
say
The White Glove. Is it?
Sailor Moon. Wait.
No.
Oh, Full Metal Alchemist.
Alchemist. Full Metal
4, 4,
Alchemist.
4. I
Wow.
beat you on that one.
Wow, you were
Yeah,
fast.
fingers
We're
are too
dead
short for
even.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I didn't recognize Edward's glove.
Oh boy, thank you, my brother Paul, older brother. Would
Full
not have
Metal
known that.
Alchemist, one of my faves.
All right, anyone know?
What
Looks
is
like the Punisher.
that?
They're like punching something.
Yeah, it's a punching bag. Good call. Good call.
My Hero? Maybe? I don't think
Okay,
so.
we're gonna keep going.
I'm just gonna guess My Hero for everything.
Oh, he's it's
Soccer player?
Oh, okay. I'm proud.
It's My Hero.
It
My
is.
Hero Academia?
Wow.
You're so good.
5, 4, 4.
If you say the same answer every time,
Yeah,
you'll be
you'll
right.
get it.
Eventually,
One
you'll
of
get
the
one.
times.
What is this? Looks like a giant
Big
monkey.
rat? Or
No, it's a hair. It's a
Makes me
ear
think
on the
Dragon
right.
Ball. All right, we're going bigger. Anyone know?
Oh, there's an ear. You're right.
Oh no, that's just a dude.
Vinland Saga.
So good.
Wow.
Vinland Saga.
Bursting
Yeah.
into the lead, Sydney.
We
well
talked
done.
about that earlier.
Castlevania?
Chain
Sword.
Whip.
That's Castlevania.
You think it is?
I think so. I think it's Castlevania Nocturne or whatever the sequel one was with, I could be wrong. That kind of looks like Simon Belmont.
Oh, I don't
The whip.
know.
No, maybe not
I've
anymore.
never seen this.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
you're
right.
right. Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Yep.
Pokemon?
I think so.
Yeah, it's got
Satoshi.
So I think that's 665.
Holy, that's got to be Ash.
Yeah.
That's Ash.
Yeah.
Well done. Well
Oh,
done.
Ash. See, it's Satoshi for me.
I don't know. We'll have an
It got
official count.
you.
And this is it for the win between
Gundam.
you two.
Gundam.
She's got to be right. Wait.
That's Gundam.
Yeah, Gundam.
Yeah.
Wow, good job.
If my count is correct, 7 wins. You got it.
Wow. That
The
was
color.
so I knew more than I thought.
Collectively, we came through, I think.
Yeah.
And we got most of them.
We're pretty
Yeah,
good
what?
at. They're all different anime styles
Yeah,
too. It's
yeah.
like there was definitely some gaps in my knowledge, but wow, that was a ton of
We only
fun.
missed like 3 or 4 of them in total.
Yeah.
Only a
Pretty
few,
good. Yeah.
which just says that maybe I need to watch a few more anime series
Yeah,
that I
you
haven't seen.
too. I
That's
wanted
fun. That
to.
worked out way better than I
Yeah,
thought
that was
it
so
would.
fun.
Yeah.
I want to do that again. Shiho, we have to end our interview here, but do you want to come back?
We didn't even
I
scratch
love to.
the goddamn surface, Sydney.
I
I want to
know.
know your favorite animes, your favorite movies.
We didn't get to sing anime karaoke.
We got to have her back.
You have to come back.
We
You
gotta
have
have
to
her
come
back.
back.
Okay,
you
we'll
promise?
back.
You
Will you come
promise?
back tomorrow?
You
Yes.
promise? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We have to move on then to our next segment where we're gonna jump back into video games.
Yeah, tier list.
We're gonna talk about the tier list and possibly
Games of 2024
yeah,
mostly,
and our
right?
favorites. Yeah, in 2024. So stick around for the next episode. Shiho will be back.
Yeah, more anime.
More anime. I can't get enough. This has been so much fun. Thanks for hanging with
Thank
us.
you so much for having me. Wak wak.
Wait, what was that?
It means excited.
Waku waku.
Waka Walk? Waka Walk! We'll be back very soon. Get excited, stay excited. Next level play.
It's the game of the year. The 2024 is what we're talking about. We have a
Yeah.
lot to catch up on. Our tier
Yes.
list today are top or
Just general releases.
lower.
Notable releases of 2024
Thank you.
with an emphasis on those that got the most notoriety through accolades. So it's going to be mostly the generally hyped games.
yeah, and also like I will comment on things that I have played and probably going to skew my bias a little bit, but
course.
there's plenty of games I didn't play, but we've done our research. Okay, I want to start off with one that I have played a lot, deserves to be on the list. Helldivers 2 came out in 2024.
Okay.
A game that I did not think that I'd be into, ended up playing it a ton and still do with friends. I think it was like the first game that kind of got me into a first-person shooter game. I was always afraid of like playing COD with friends or like Halo and stuff. I'm just not good at it. But Helldivers made it fun for Super Earth, love to squish some bugs. I would put it at least at a B. I'd like to put it at an A.
I was thinking you were going to be between an A and an S because you loved it so much.
I'd like to put it at an A. They recently came out with some new stuff, which is why I think it should be an A. For a while, it was so. Remember, it was so popular you couldn't
play it,
You
yeah.
couldn't even play it.
It was one of our
So-
first discussions.
Yeah, we couldn't get
Yeah.
into the lobbies. We were like, "What the hell? This studio is so overwhelmed." I would say A if you'll allow me, sir.
Of course. I mean, especially if that's the game that you've played more than any.
I would say of the 2024 releases, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, probably.
Hey. I will start with the top Nintendo release that I can think of in 2024. Well, I know my Nintendo. I would say the best Nintendo game of the year has to be Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Okay.
It's close to an S because again, I love that you play as Zelda. I love that it is turning, Legend of Zelda formula on its head. No more, sword, you're building stuff. It's kind of bringing a lot of the mechanics and creativity of your Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom into the top-down Link's Awakening remake type of world. Great game. There's a reason why we're not really talking about it anymore here in 2025, even
why
in
is
the
that?
Nintendo fan base. I feel like it's very solid 2D, quote-unquote, Zelda that just... It's great, it's creative, it's fun, but somehow lacks the wow factor of a really big Nintendo or
They wanted
Zelda
it.
release,
They wanted
especially.
it to be Breath of the Wild
Am
too.
I misogynistic? Perhaps.
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 But that's a discussion for another day and a
Yes.
different podcast.
But it's an A.
It's an A, okay.
I think I have 2 S's for this year. One of them's a low S, and then my Game of the Year pick. I know I started with Nintendo, but I'm going to switch gears because Nintendo, the king of the 3D platformer, no longer Astrobot. And you know what? I'm actually going to change my mind because I'm going to be more critical of 2024.
Whoa.
Very, very high A, nearly an S, I will give to Astrobot. It's great. I prefer Spyro. I prefer Super Mario 64. Is that nostalgia talking? Yeah. But we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Still a very, very solid A. The AAA game of the year, in my opinion.
Okay.
Astrobot.
Wait, so was that your game of the year? No. Still a secret.
That's
Still a
coming
secret.
soon. Yeah, we're going to go negative, and then I'll hit you with that game of the year.
I'm going to throw in another positive from the same creators of Goose Game. Thank Goodness You're Here is a hilarious comedy. I mean, they call it a slap former, which I think is funny.
I love that.
A slap former. Great game. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
The game is kind of like that. Great game, super funny. It takes place in like an old British town. It's a little adventure game. Highly recommend. Drink some tea and play it. It's quite funny. I'm gonna give it an A. I think it really surprised me. Better than Goose Game, in my opinion. A little bit more concise with like what you're supposed to do. Goose Game was pretty just like
I love that game.
do some It was very funny. God,
Yeah.
it saved me in quarantine. But I'm gonna give it an A. That's another positive for 2024.
I beat Untitled Goose Game in a day
Oh wow.
because it was just so much fun.
It
but
was.
It was too short. I felt like it was like 5-6 hours.
I took my time because I
Yeah.
wanted to drag it out.
for sure drag the
Drag the
items.
drag
Anyway.
a knife down the
exactly.
road. Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little negative on Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Brothership.
Yeah. Terrible.
Okay.
And I don't know why Nintendo botches their RPGs. Paper Mario is a sham. One of the best releases of the year was the Thousand Year Doors remake.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a remake, right?
Or HD, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
GameCube game from 20 plus years ago. Great game, but I don't feel right counting it. It's the same game, just in HD. And it's almost insulting that then Mario and Luigi Brothership was released alongside it, or within the same year. Just derivative, overly simple, boring RPG. It's got the Nintendo personality, but I don't know. It's well written, I suppose. I think a C is the most generous I could give, and even that feels like Nintendo bias. I feel like because it's such a fall from grace for the franchise and Nintendo RPGs in general, I think go down to a D. Honestly,
I'm
Just 'cause
fine.
I'm insulted.
I'm fine. Frankly, Nintendo, I'm insulted.
If IGN gave it a 5, it's really like fucking 2. All right.
I'm fine with that. I want to throw in 2 quick Bs. Obviously, I have to go Pal World. It did come out in 2024.
Yeah,
I checked.
okay.
God, it's
Oh, it did.
It's number 2 top game on Steam. I mean, it was huge. I'm gonna throw it in a B alongside Little Kitty Big City.
Okay.
Very fun, bubbly, very squishy, round sort of animations. Silly, not very high stakes, either game, really, but I enjoyed them. I spent money on them, and I spent time on them, so I'm going to add them to my list.
And I'm surprised you only want B. I mean, I feel like, yeah, Pal World, it has its problems, but for its cultural impact alone, almost.
If you want to bump it up to A, I mean, it really made a splash. I mean, they got sued big time. It was always like a they won't get
Right,
sued, and
that's
then
fun.
Nintendo really put the hammer down. And
The drama alone.
the drama alone was a game in itself.
Yeah.
I'll bump it up to A.
There we go. I like that.
All right, before we end the segment,
Mm-hmm.
I have to hear, what is your top 24 game?
I like my retro games. I talk usually about like the 90s era, but go back to the 80s and I still love my classic NES.
Okay.
UFO 50 is an incredible game, an achievement in gaming. You have the concept of Action 52, where they had a cartridge with 52 games on it in the early 90s, but the games all sucked. What if you had a compilation of 50 NES-style games that were all fucking incredible? And I mean incredible. All of them bangers. There's a couple weak ones, but all of them bangers. 50 fucking 8-bit games, 2 buttons, deep mechanics. It's brilliant. UFO 50 from the creator of Spelunky and a wider team. Took them years to make.
Okay.
Truly an achievement.
Are these remakes of games, or
No,
these are all new?
It's an entire different universe they created of this console that came out. And there's even lore within it where it's like, Campanella 1, which came out in 1986. You go to Campanella 2, which came out in like 88. Better graphics, more advanced, like yada, yada, yada. It goes from 83, I think, to 89 is when these games span. There's a point-and-click adventure game. There's 2D shooters. There's a roguelike. There's
Wait, but
platformers. There's lots of puzzlers.
you're considering this one game.
It is one game.
Fascinating.
It is one game.
Where can you play it?
Steam. It runs on my Mac. Like it runs on everything because most of the games are 8-bit. They really should do a console port. I don't know why they haven't yet.
Maybe they will.
I hope so. But yeah, it's pretty cheap on Steam. $25 full price. Well worth it. But
That's nothing.
it's on sale occasionally.
Are
Game
you
of the year by far.
Putting this in S on the tier
Oh,
list.
it's a high S. It's not only the best game of my year. It's maybe of the decade so far. I can't think of another game. Wow. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom was amazing, but Breath of the Wild is a bit derivative of that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I love retro games. This is a love letter to retro games, and
I can't believe I hadn't heard of it.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I'm definitely going to buy it on Steam. Those at home, check it out. 2024. Marcus is saying maybe
it's the game of the year for
maybe
sure.
of the decade.
I'm insulted, and it did win most independent game of the year awards.
Yeah, it did. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Cool.
but I feel like it should have been nominated for game of the year.
I'm-
And it
I'm-
was a lot of people's pick for Game of the Year as well. This is not like a super hot take. I've seen other people say
Astrobot
this.
really came in and was just like kind of taking all the glory.
What else? I mean, there's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Okay, it's a B or an A. Like
There's
I played the first.
I'm not counting so many.
remake.
Don't get mad about this list. We got to end it because the segment. But I'm not counting the remaster of Last of Us 2. Obviously, I love Last of Us Part 2. I'm not counting a bunch of remasters and remakes. And yeah, there's the Wukong. There was Rise of the Ronin. There were some good games.
Right.
But I think
Balatro is the other big indie
Balatro
game.
I would
which,
put in an A because people really love Balatro. They're like obsessed with Balatro.
Just as a poker player, there's no. I don't know. I remember playing bridge in my college dorm, and it's like I just feel.
You just want to play poker.
Well, it's like when you. I'm gonna get killed on the internet, but it's a card game. Like we don't need it to be a video game, do we? Why is this the thing? Why is this so popular? I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm just gonna play poker online. It's the same fucking thing, isn't it? I know there's different mechanics.
We have to end the segment
They're gonna
before Marcus gets torn apart by hating on Balatro.
I don't hate it.
That's it. We have to end the show. Thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Hey, wait, we're not done yet.
Oh,
We got chuckle nuts over here.
oh no! I thought we could just.
Yeah, no, me too. Believe me, but it's in the contract.
All
so,
right. Well, stick around. We are going to talk to Samurai, who's going to make some predictions for us.
Samurai with post-market news. We're going to post-market this episode with our favorite individual, Samurai.
Hello, and welcome back to Post Market News. I'm your host, Sydney, and with me is my co-host, Marcus.
That's me. I'm the co-host, Marcus.
Yep, not an equal host, just a co-host.
I was doing a little business here because I'm trying to get through this last segment as quickly as possible. We have post-market news with Samurai, big
Who's not
streamer,
a
apparently.
host or a co-host.
No, he does not get that credibility at all.
What am I then? No, go ahead, tell me. What am I
You're
then?
just
No, go ahead, tell me.
Like a
No, go ahead, tell me.
no, like a
No, go ahead, tell me.
Marcus, let's say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Like a guy.
asshole. A guy.
A guy who
Predicts
Okay.
the
Certainly a dick.
Fewest
predictions.
predictions. Nailed
I'll take
it.
the title. Nailed it every time. Sid the Kid, Mark in the Park. I got one for you today that you are just going to be so happy, so pleased to hear.
I sure hope so.
I know it's something we all hold near and dear to our heart.
A baby.
In a way, yes. In a
Oh.
way, a baby, yes.
Okay.
In 1995, a good year, I'd say, there were many cinematic achievements. There was Apollo 13, Toy Story, Batman Forever, an acclaimed and uncomplicated classic. In addition to these acclaimed films, there was one very special movie that I know we all hold near and dear to our hearts. And now we'll all say it on the count of 3.
Oh no.
3, 2,
Two,
1.
one.
Waterworld.
Oh.
Waterworld. Yes, Waterworld.
Not what I thought you were going to say.
Well, isn't it our mutual favorite film?
Yeah, we talk about it in our group chat every
All the
week.
time. Oh, I love Waterworld. I know,
love-
Samurai. Stop reminding me. Ha 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 ha.
Lose this number.
You guys have a group chat?
No.
No.
No. Yeah. No.
No. Does he group chat?
No.
I meant
just a regular chat.
Chat.
Uh-huh.
But also Jimmy's in the chat.
Jimmy's in, Chase is in it.
Chase is in it.
Wendy's in it.
Wendy's in it. Anyway, my prediction today is that in the wake of the almost 30-year now constant success of Waterworld, the community of which we are a part of has been clamoring for an adaptation, for a series, for a MMORPG.
Oh.
And we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it on the open water. Waterworld, the open world RPG. Get a raft, take to the seas, meet Dennis Hopper.
Well, Waterworld has been trying to make its money back now for nearly 30 years, pretty much my entire lifetime.
Yeah.
Still don't think they're going to get there. Have they reached out to you? Is this some kind of desperate attempt?
No, they have not, Marcus. I have not been contacted by the fine folks at the Waterworld HQ.
I think you might have been.
I'm not in the pocket of Big Waterworld. Everyone's always saying, Samurai, stop. Why are you trying to sell me bootleg copies of Waterworld on VHS? I don't know, because I want you to see a fine motion picture.
I think you're onto something though. Waterworld, despite its failings to make their money back, it did become, I would say, a cult classic film.
More of a, what do you even call it? Not an anomaly, but like a fascination by film buffs of like how to waste hundreds of millions of dollars.
I'm just curious. So you've predicted that it will be a game, which doesn't seem crazy, but
No, there have been Waterworld games. It's the rarest game on Virtual Boy if you're trying to complete your Virtual Boy collection. The Waterworld tie-in game is the hardest to track down.
Because it's so popular, because the movie's so good.
No, it didn't sell well, that's why.
My question though is, you predict it's going to be an MMO,
Yes.
and what's
Massive. When I say massive, massive.
the ocean is quite big.
Yes.
But what is the premise?
You'll be on the water.
Uh-huh.
You'll build a crew of water pirates.
So, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
No, Water World. And you will go to water towns to fight water enemies in the water world.
So it's like Mad Max with Sea of Thieves and a raft simulator.
Sounds like a great time to me.
Well, I mean, there's Stranded Deep. There's all sorts of like kind of water survival type games.
Right.
Sure. But this one will have combat.
But this sets itself apart because it's a movie tie-in game from a film from 30 years ago.
So is Dennis Hopper in the game?
Yes, he'll be voicing his own character, and he will have 1,000 unique voice lines.
Do you play as him?
You can unlock him.
Oh. But you get to customize and create your own character?
Yes.
I'm into
What's
it.
next? The John Carter Disney flop film movie tie-in? Like
I
what other
signed
giant,
an NDA, Marcus. I'm not gonna get into the John
Can't
Carper
say-
what other
IP right
giant
now.
bombs
Can't
like can
say
we get
too much.
into here? Why
I'm
not?
not-
What other
I'm-
failures of filmmaking can we milk to death?
I cannot speak on that issue right now. All I can say is it's going to be really excited, and we should all pre-order Waterworld, the game RPG, coming to your screens in 2026. You guys can Venmo me $75. I'll hold it down for you.
$5.
It's pretty expensive.
Big game. Inflation. 2 years from now.
Well,
Inflation.
I'm not opposed. I think this is an interesting prediction,
Why are you
Samurai,
not opposed?
to the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like
doesn't sound
Fighting
fun
on
at
a raft.
all.
Marcus, would you light it up for once? Would you have a little fun? You're fighting on a raft. For God's sake, it's your favorite movie.
I
Why
like
are you
rafts.
so
It's not my
opposed?
favorite movie.
Marcus, it's your favorite
It's
movie. You don't have to be
Waterworld.
ashamed.
I think that this has potential. Whether or not you're in the pocket of Big Water World, I cannot say. I also signed an NDA. I'm not in the pocket of Big Water World, my
Nobody-
favorite film.
Nobody's in the pocket of
No.
their favorite film, Waterworld.
Nobody here
here.
is in the pocket of Big Water
I
World.
don't know where you heard that, but
And
that's
it's
wrong.
crazy
That's
that
a
you're bringing it
crazy
up.
thing.
This sounds a lot like Kevin costs a lot of money.
You know, this is why we keep bringing it back. Anyway, I'm gonna get my phone. If you guys want to sell me that $75,
Yeah, or you
I'll,
can sell me, unrelated. You can sell me $75. Be sure to pre-order the new Waterworld game
If
that's
anyone
coming
at
out.
home, my Venmo tag is at samurai-is-cool-4. Would you believe there was 3 before me?
If I pre-order, will your work here be done? Will you not show up for future episodes of Next Level Play? Because if so, yeah, it seems like a small price.
It's gonna depend on if you buy the DLC, in which
Sure,
you can
whatever it
submerge.
fucking takes, my guy. Whatever it takes to
Thank
support
you.
you.
About to get $150 from Mark in the park
Thank
over
you,
here.
everybody, for tuning in to this episode of Next Level Play and this segment with our favorite video game playing Psychic Samurai. We will see you for the next episode where we'll have more hot insider prediction takes.
More
guests.
hot guests.
More hot guests is what I was going to say.
Only the
I can't
hottest
speak
guests
to
on
their
Next Level Play.
attractability, but we're gonna have more hot takes. We're gonna have more great discussions, more predictions, more analysis. Hopefully, no more samurai if I pay him off. And until the next time, thanks for watching.
See you on Waterworld.
Would you guys play Batman Forever the game?